Another lacklustre display from Romelu Lukaku last night. But how much is his form down to him or the team that he's playing in, Tim?
I feel a wee bit sorry for him. I don't think he gets a lot of support from the way the team's set up. I don't see much width. I don't see the wingers getting down the side or fullbacks getting forward and delivering balls into the box, where he's obviously a big guy, he can feed off crosses. I'm not sure he ever plays alongside another striker. He's pretty isolated up there. So I do feel sorry for him. But what Romelu has to do, and like most players have to do, and not enough of them want to, is look himself in the mirror and say, is he doing enough, both in training and in match days? Because you can't just turn up on a Saturday and expect to score goals. You have to work at it every day. So Craig would tell you, some of the best strikers I've ever played with, they want to be hitting the net every day, you know, and if they don't get the shooting practice they need or the drills what they want, they go out on their own and they'll do it and they make sure they're getting it. I'm not sure he's doing it. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not there. We're not party to that. But at the moment, he looks like he's short of confidence. I think the manager mentioned it last night. Mourinho said that he's obviously short of confidence. He shouldn't be. And he goes away with Belgian national score. He can't stop scoring. You know, he scores a lot of goals. He's actually scored more goals for Everton, minutes per games, and West Brom than he has for Manchester United, which I found incredible.
But is that almost symptomatic if he's not in the right team? Is he the wrong fit for Manchester United then? The way they play?
No, I wouldn't say that. You know, look, he will get goals, but we judge him over. I say we judge him. We certainly don't. But his record against the top teams is not great.
No.
But I also think the way Manchester United play against the top teams isn't suited to him. You know, he's left so isolated. Even if you watched the game yesterday, it was, you know, I struggle to understand what's happening at times, because I think Mourinho was a top manager, but I'm like, what are you doing with this group of players? Can you not narrow them off? Stop having your wingers tracking their fullbacks, because they're just pinning you there because they're too good. They've got so much of the ball. They're the ones. So if you've got really a good fullback and you've got plenty of the ball, and you just say, well, I want to take that threat out. I want to take Rashford. I'm worried about him going up there. So you pin him back. Take him back. He'll track you. Great. It's music to, you know, for me as the opposition manager, would be music to my ears. Because then when you get the ball, you've got 80, 90 metres to run. You're a speed player. You need it in the final third. But I want to take that threat out of you, and I want to take it out with the other side. And then Lukaku then up top is left isolated against these top teams. And there's times he can't go and press because he's just getting played around, like he certainly was yesterday. And you see him quite a lot. They look so disjointed all over the place, and they sit off. And then the only chance he's got of getting in the game is when they're losing, and they just pile everything forward and they go more direct. Well, they're quite a direct team, but, you know, Fellaini come on and there's scraps. Yeah. And he isn't, believe it or not, as big as he is, he has all the bad habits of a target man. And I look at him from a young age, like even when he receives, people talk about his touch, his body position's poor, but it always has been. He looks like a kid he was that size when he was 13, 14, never had to...
He was, there's photographs.
Never had to worry.
So his sheer physicality...
But you can see it with him, the way he receives the ball out. No one was going to take it off him, but now you're up against men, now you're up against the players like especially he was against yesterday, then nick it off you. If your body position, not keeping the ball on the furthest point and your touch is not sound enough, because... The size he would always get away with bad touch because he was quicker, bigger, stronger than everyone else. So those bad habits he hasn't quite addressed. So as a target man, leaving him up there on his own, isolated to wait for players to join in, isn't his strength, believe it or not. He needs players in and around him. He needs crosses because actually he can go and attack.
At the moment, he's not getting enough chances. Chiellini and Bonucci last night, if they could pick a striker to mark and have a comfortable evening, they would have said, please give me Romelu Lukaku on his own with no one running beyond him to attract us, and we will just pick him off. Them long straight balls will come in and we'll just go and bully him. And that is exactly what they did. They had the easiest night they could ever have. And it's because he's not getting any support. No one's attracting the other centre-halves. There's no rotation. He's not able to come off because no one's going in behind. They're never stretched. They just always set, and they were just lining him up. As soon as that ball was coming in, they were lining him up, and they were just smashing through him.
Matt is a good player, technically very, very good, but he hasn't got the legs. You can't counter-attack with Mata. Like, I even looked at him first half, and a clever player. He didn't play one forward pass, not one first half. Second half he did. They got more into the game. I think Juventus allowed them to get more into the game, but Juventus, I know they use the phrase "men against boys." I don't like to look at it that way, but it was a
golfing
team
class.
and it was a golf, and that's. Look, and I know it looks like we're digging at United.
Sorry to interrupt you. The way that the experience and the maturity of the Juventus players, it's old heads against.
Yeah, and they look like a team that was geared for that are geared for this competition. Manchester United don't look like a team that can progress really in this competition.
OK, let me ask you this then. We've had a tweet in here. Lukaku's form is a concern for United. I personally feel United need a backup striker. I mean, with Jose identifying as well, not identifying, commenting on his lack of confidence and touch right now, has he got a decision to make about changing it?
They're changing it.
What do you do? You must have both played with out-and-out strikers who, when they're not scoring, what does the manager do? Stick with them or take them out, let them have a look? What's the fine line between destroying already low confidence and sticking with you, man?
Give him some help. Put Rashford up top with him. Get some wide men playing there. Get some midfield players who can create stuff, who want to look forward. Because if Mata looked forward last night and he saw two of them up there, maybe you'd find a pass. He's looking up and he's looking at Romelu and he's thinking, well, you're surrounded. I don't want to get the ball away. I'm going to keep going square. What's wrong with Sanchez? Where's Sanchez? Where is he?
It would appear not to be in favour.
Well, exactly. I mean, but he's a Jose signing. But was he not the man who Arsenal rested all their hopes on every single week? And he pulled them out and he scored goals. He's a prolific goal scorer in the Premier League. He's a shadow of the player we've seen. It's unbelievable that there's so many players struggling with confidence, and a lot of them are at Manchester United. I know it's a big club, and it takes a big player to play for a big club like Manchester United, but I think the offensive players at Manchester United are really struggling to settle under the style of how they're being asked to play.